But what's really going to help you, what's going to make it possible, is if you learn to give up that conceit of me, that thing that wants to be in control, that thinks it knows everything, that thinks it's the universe. Come to that realization, and that can take you years. This is not just a mental, this is not just, something that you read. You've got to feel it, you've got to really accept it within inside of yourself. That actually you're not the great thing that you always thought that you were. And then begin to open and awaken to something that will never be, that you will never really know, that will never be your possession. And the way that we develop that as it were, that coming together, that awakening, that awakening to our true nature, what we really are, there's only one way that that's going to happen, and that's called humility. Authentic humility, not something that's contrived, but a real genuine giving up to something greater, yes. To hand yourself in, to ask for forgiveness and to ask for help. Please help me, come and support me. This is so difficult. I just can't do this on my own. I can't even do it with my teacher and my friends. Even though we're all in the same boat, as it were. Everybody knows what's going on. And yet this is just so powerful, so powerful. Please. And invite it to come, to support you, to come into your life. By giving this sense of self, that by giving the sense of me, and that me thinks, well, if I give myself up, what is there going to be? There's going to be a void, there's going to be a vacuum, there's going to be darkness, I'm going to go over a cliff. That's what the self thinks, because the self can't imagine anything else other than me. But if we can authentically and genuinely give that self up, see what happens. See what fills the gap, as it were. See what comes into its place. That which is free of that world that you're caught by can come and support you while you let this conceit go. Let it go, so that you open, and so that your true nature comes into your life more, to carry you and to support you, because it knows, it has great wisdom, it has enormous wisdom. If you listen with humility, be quiet, be still. When you're still, you're with your true nature. Be still. Don't be busy. Don't be restless. When you're busy and you're restless, you're not with your true nature. You're caught by this thing. Learn to be still, learn to be quiet, and your true nature will speak to you. It's there. But it's not going to come to you on your terms. You have to go to it on its terms, which is one of surrender, of giving up, of being still and saying yes. We learn, we cultivate. I hope we cultivate. We have the opportunity to cultivate humility when we bow our heads. Because it's a gesture, it's a physical gesture. But actually, even in that physical gesture, that's something that the ego usually does not like to do. Even just to bow the head like this is quite an affront to the ego, actually. It doesn't even like to do this, even though it's a physical thing. What the ego would really like you to do is to do this. Oh yes, this I like. This I like. This I can do. Yes. Why don't we do this instead of doing this? Then I would agree with you, and I'll be very, very happy to come in the shrine room, and instead of doing this, I'll get down and I go. And we'd all be rushing in here 10 minutes before meditation. Because the self wants that. This is a gesture that the self identifies with. Superiority thing. No. This it doesn't like. That's why we bow. That's why all religions since the beginning of time, all spiritual practices of any value, have bowing as a part of their framework. Why do you think They all do this. Is everybody stupid? Has everybody been stupid? Or is there something very important there, something hidden in that gesture that is of enormous value to the spiritual path? And is that it helps us to nurture that ability to say, yes, give me away. Give never mind possessions are easy to give away. What we can't give away is our opinions and our sense of rightness. I'm right. This is the way you do it. Oh, this is right, that's wrong. That's far more difficult to give away than your car and your house. Much more difficult. But this is what we begin to nurture. We become familiar. We learn to, with humility, to give all of that up. I don't know anything. This self isn't going to get me out of trouble. I realise that now. I must hand it into something greater than me, something that will help me, will come my salvation. Something, if I can only open to and develop a relationship with, will speak, will carry me, support me. So we learn to bow our heads. We do it a lot in this group, and that's why we do it. We don't do it just because it looks nice or because we're all trying to be holy. We're Buddhists. Buddhists bow their heads. I've heard Buddhists say that they're holy, the holy life. So we'll bow our heads and be holy. Well, I don't know. I can tell you that's not the reason why we do it in this group. I really hope none of you come to me and tell me that you're holy. Holiness is not something that we're after. We're learning to give up this conceit of me, of I. And it's a very, very skillful way. Because very often it's a very difficult gesture even to do on a physical, just to do it. And how many Western people don't bow their heads or really have such resistance? When you think about it, it's crazy, isn't it? What's the big deal about doing this? And yet some of us will not do it. Nope. Mumbo jumbo. I don't need to do that. Oh, yes, you do. Oh, yes, you do. If you want your precious enlightenment that you're after, or whatever it is that you're after, and if you consider yourself to be on the spiritual path, you have to bow your head. Physically, metaphorically. Because if you don't, and if you're not going to do it, it ain't going to happen. Humility is absolutely crucial to open and accept and acknowledge that you can't do it and give yourself to that which can. That's not you, that will never be your possession. And we have to learn to do that because our conceit is so ingrained. We have to learn to do that and come back to it and authentically, genuinely, not as a you can do this as a mindless gesture. I won't know. I don't know what's going through your minds when you bow your head. That's entirely up to you. You can say, oh, I'm doing this because Smithy wants me to do it. Go on, do it. And if you ain't looking, I'm not going to do it. And you think I'm not, I don't see. Don't do it for me. Do it for your own understanding, the necessity of learning to bow your head. If you want your aspiration to become real. Use the door. The bowing is such a wonderful doorway into your true nature. It's the gate that flies open if it's authentic, to pick up the whole of yourself and give it away. Really give it, and even the giver that's giving, give the giver away also. Surrender. Fall off the top of a 100-foot pole, as it were, over a cliff, into the abyss. Yes. Give yourself into that which is far greater than you could even imagine, never mind be.